Actually, no. We're coming back with the main event. Rashidi, go to the commission. They're coming to get you, boy.
Hey, congratulations again.
There's the Boricua, Jeyson Vélez, coming through to the ring. And Ring TV Live caught up with Jeyson Vélez.
Jeyson, la maravilla Vélez.
You know, first of all, at this level, every guy is tough guy. I learned I needed to move up in weight, you know. I was good, but I wasn't great. I came back with my first trainer, the trainer that taught me how to fight. I'm boxing more again, like I was doing when I started to fight. So using more my jab, more movement, not go face to face every time. You know, you could expect from me great fight as always, more speed, more power, better stamina. You will see me different, moving more, being more intelligent. You will see the Jeyson that you used to know. I feel I have to win. I need to win. I have lost 2 fights in a row, so I can lose 3 fights in a row. So I have to fight it. I have to win this fight. I will win. I need to win. So I've been working for no more than win. I just want to win because I need it.
Ringside, Eddie Hernandez, Fritz Werner, and Zach Young. Encargado del ring, el referee de Bassett, California, Ray Corona. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Indio, make some noise if you are ready! Presentando primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos azul con blanco y un peso de 129 libras y medias. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, trimmed in blue, he weighed in officially 129 1/2 pounds. Un veterano de 30 peleas, su récord 23 victorias, con 16 ganadas por nocaut y 7 derrotas. This 35 veteran has a record that stands at 23 victories, 7 defeats, 16 big wins coming by way of knockout. De Managua, Nicaragua, here is the former WBC International Silver Super Featherweight Champion, El Gemelo, René Alvarado. Y sorprende en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos negro con amarillo y un peso de 130 libras. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears black, trimmed in yellow. He weighed in officially 130 pounds even. Su récord excelente con 23 victorias, solamente 2 derrotas, un empate y 16 ganadas por nocaut. His professional record in 26 bouts, 23 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 16 wins by way of knockout. Presentando el Boricua de Juncos, Puerto Rico, Jeyson, la maravilla Vélez. Once again, referee Ray Corona with the final instruction.
Ears good, aquí está bien. Escúchame, touch gloves. God bless.
Bassett, California, the referee, the tell of the tape, Doug Fisher.
Alvarado, 1 year younger at age 27. Vélez, 1.5 inches taller, and Alvarado has a very slight reach advantage.
We get ready to go. Jeyson Vélez, el Boricua. He came into Victor Manuel, daría mi vida por ella. Give my life for her. He's in the ring right now, 10 rounds, super featherweight action against René El Gemelo Alvarado. The common opponent, 2012 Olympian and undefeated rising prospect Joseph Diaz Jr., the 4th member of our crew. And Jojo, who gave you a tougher fight?
You know what? I think René Alvarado gave me the tougher fight. The reason being is because he was very aggressive, throwing a lot of punches and bunches. But I think the advantage will go to Jeyson Vélez. Jeyson Vélez is a longer fighter and a rangier fighter, so if he's going to be able to outbox René Alvarado, he'll pull out the victory tonight.
Yeah, you fought Jeyson Vélez, decision 10 rounds in March, and then you took on Alvarado last June. That was at the sports arena, the house that Bernard Benjamin built. And when you see these two guys in this ring right now, and don't give me that, oh, it's going to be a tough fight, it's going to be a brawl. Right now, who do you think has the advantage?
I personally think Jeyson Vélez. The reason is because he seems like he's hungry and he's determined. He just lost 2 fights in a row, and I know that he wants to bounce back and become a road title contender once again. So I think the advantage is Jeyson Vélez, no doubt.
Joseph Diaz will be jumping in with commentary all throughout the night, and you're right. 2 losses back-to-back for Jeyson Vélez. He was undefeated, 23-0 with 1 draw. Then he lost to Ronnie Rios on the Canelo Cotto undercard. That went 12 rounds for the WBC silver belt. Then he lost to Joseph 10 rounds in a fight that Joseph controlled. Meanwhile, René Alvarado, last time he was in the ring at the Belasco Theater against Tino Avila, they went the distance, a fight that left many asking more for growth fighters, but Tino came away with a decision. And before that, here in Fancy Springs, Andrew Chango Cancio stopped him in the 7th round, and that was a fight where Alvarado looked good.
Well, not only that, he seemed to be taking over in the early part of that fight, and based on that victory, Andrew Cancio is actually able to earn a promotional deal with Top Rank. Beto, one note here, 2 actually, Gary Grant and Marcus Johnson are very upset by your earlier reference, but in regards to Joseph Diaz, talking to his manager Ralph Heredia, if he should come out clean July 30th here in this venue, goal is to get on the September 17th Canelo undercard, and they said if he had his way by the end of the year or beginning of 2017, they would like to get a shot at Gary Russell Jr. They are number 2 in the WBC.
But first, JoJo has to get through July 30th. Tickets on sale here at the Fancy Springs Resort and Casino. That'll be on HBO Latino. Ring TV Live cameras will be here also for you. This is the opening round, scheduled for 10. René Alvarado from Managua, Nicaragua in the white trunks. Jeyson La Maravilla Vélez in the black trunks.
I think Vélez is boxing in a very controlled manner. This is the most elusive and sharp I've seen Vélez since his prospect days out of Puerto Rico.
10 seconds to go in the opening round between Vélez and Alvarado. A crossroads fight for both of these fighters, and matchmaker Roberto Diaz on this matchup.
Definitely a crossroad fight at this point of their careers. Renado's always been in very good fights here in the U.S. Had a very good fight with Manuel Avila. Surprisingly got knocked out by Andrew Cancio, which was a great job on Andrew Cancio's part. But bottom line, he's always in the fight. He's always a tough opponent. Jeyson Vélez is coming off the loss with Joseph Diaz. Tells me he learned a lot from that fight. So it's basically sink or swim. You know, it's one of those fights that the winner can move on to bigger and better things, and the loser, it's not the end of his career, but he has to really step back and say, okay, do I want to continue this path as just an opponent, or do I want to go sharpen my tools and come back later?
Golden Boy matchmaker Roberto Diaz rolls in big company. There you see JoJo's manager Ralph Heredia and Sugar Ray Leonard, who was here signing autographs, played golf with Oscar yesterday. Always cool to see the legend here at Fancy Springs. Second round of action, Ms. Fight Lady. Thank you for watching on Ring TV Live. Also Cynthia, the UCLA product, San Diego State alum, and watching her fellow countryman René Alvarado, the Nicaragua, and of course she's eating gallo pinto, the native food of Nicaragua. Rooting for him. And you know, Steve, also you mentioned Nicaragua, some fighters out of that country.
Roman Gonzalez,
Fighting.
Alexis Arguello, Rosendo Alvarez,
Ricardo Mayorga.
Just love setting you guys up for history lessons. Alexis Arguello, right?
And again, you're right. Roman Gonzalez, again, September 10th at the Forum, will be taking on Carlos Cuadras. He's trying to make some history, Doug, becoming, I believe, the first Nicaraguan to win 4 championships in 4 different weight classes.
Yes.
Arguello got stopped in that attempt against Aaron Pryor at the Orange Bowl.
It's an epic encounter.
Jeyson?
1982.
Yeah, what a fight. Oof.
Orange Bowl. What a venue.
No longer with us, Beto.
Jeyson Vélez started boxing at the age of 11. First fight he remembers watching as a kid, Oscar against Tito. Said after that, hooked on the sport of boxing. Has fought at Madison Square Garden, has fought in Las Vegas. He's trying to stay as a name in his division after 2 losses. Meanwhile, René, gemelo Alvarado, gemelo being twin, is a fighter who is 0-5 in the United States. Could he be relegated to a gatekeeper status?
Yeah, if he loses this fight, that's how he will be viewed. He's viewed with a lot of respect from hardcore fans who've seen him fight because they realize the level of his opposition. They realize that he's been in there with young talents like Joseph Diaz Jr. and Eric Hunter, who's marvelously talented out of Philadelphia. And of course, that fight that he had with Cancio is one of the underrated ring battles of 2015. That was a hell of a fight.
And Doug, he also fell victim to the last stand of Rocky Juarez in Texas, which was a very good pitched battle a couple years ago.
Alvarado in the white, Vélez in the black. 2 fighters filling each other out. Main event in Indio, California, where it was 115 degrees today in the shade. Nothing wrong with that. No reason for anybody to miss weight.
No excuses. We should note these guys are fighting the scheduled 10-round bout in the super featherweight or junior lightweight division. That means they got to weigh in at 130 pounds. They're used to fighting at featherweight, 126 pounds.
Final seconds of the second round. It's scheduled for 10. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Steve Kim. Keep using the hashtag RingTVLive. Simple.
Necesito que mantenga la mano izquierda arriba y cuando tire, no vete para los lados.
Keep your left hand up.
Con la derecha por encima, ¿okay? Manténla y esa derecha, tira la recta por la izquierda.
Keep using your jab, throw that right.
Tira la recta y va a llegar,
That's Jose Parrilla is the trainer for Jeyson Vélez, the Twitter poll. Like a couple late precincts.
Yeah, Vélez has changed a few minds with these first 2 rounds of this fight. Although I have it 1 round apiece. I thought Alvarado got closer in round 2 and just edged it with his pressure. But I can certainly see scoring both the first and the second round for Vélez. He's boxing very well.
Third round of action. Jeyson Vélez, you mentioned it, Doug, before the end of that round. They're fighting at 130 pounds. He was 0.8 over. Alvarado's corner insisted on him getting down to 130. Needed 4 tries in the 2-hour break to get down exactly at 130. Went outside for a little bit, covered up, came back, and lost 0.4 ounces. Went outside again, got the gum, was spitting for at least 10 minutes. We were in that weigh-in trying to find gum for him. Lost 0.2 ounces. Finally stripped down and got to the 130 and the 2 hours allotted. Because if you don't come in at the weight, you have to pay the commission fines.
It'll be interesting to see if that struggle to make 130 pounds affects him midway or down the stretch of a tough fight. And that would behoove Alvarado to set a torrid pace and to put as much pressure on Vélez as he possibly can muster.
Alvarado got on the scale 130 on the dot immediately.
Beto, you talk about the struggles to make weight and get those last precious few ounces off. I've known of fighters that actually do what I call the hotel sauna. We basically go into the bathroom, stick towels underneath the door, and put the shower on hot as you can and just let the steam rise, and you create your own sauna. Fighters do a lot of different things in the lead up to try to make that weight.
Yeah, well, this one, Alvarado's corner, and Alvarado himself waited in the lounge. Alvarado didn't even go eat or anything. He waited in that lounge where they did the weigh-ins and just looked at him. And you can see Vélez's trainer like, come on, 0.2, we're really going to argue over this? But these are world-class athletes. If you force him to struggle for an extra 20 minutes, it also makes a mind game with them.
Yeah.
Vélez in the black, less than a minute to go in the third round.
Well, you're absolutely right. It is a sight game, and it's Alvarado's corner, and Alvarado's in the blue corner, which is kind of like the opponent corner.
Oh, yeah.
It's letting them know, hey, we don't view ourselves. We don't view you as the A side, and we're the B side, and you can get away with stuff.
Well, they're
We're
both
stand
Golden
our
Boy
ground.
fighters.
Right.
And I asked Roberto, why is Vélez the A-side fighter? He said because Vélez only has 2 losses,
right,
and he's been in bigger profile fighters as of late.
And he did fight for a world title against
that's
Evgeny Gradovich 2 years ago, and he didn't lose that fight. It was a draw.
It was ruled a draw. Alvarado lands a solid right. Another wild swing and a miss. Vélez moving around nicely in that ring. Final seconds of the third round. It is scheduled for 10 in Indio, California. Vélez and Alvarado.
Relentless Antonio.
Body shots for a 28-year-old. And Acosta just taking a deep breath. Drop with the left by Orozco. And it is over. A first-round stoppage for Antonio. Relentless Orozco. Night, July 30th, Saturday night in Indio. Get your tickets. It'll be a good one. Antonio Orozco, the main event. Joseph Diaz, the co-feature. HBO Latino card. Ring TV will be here starting at $25. Already a good ticket pace. Ready to go. The night before, Earth, Wind, and Fire, fellas. Oh, yeah, we're here.
Hey. Doesn't get any better than that.
Exactly. Don't get better than Ring TV on your tube on a Saturday night. As René Alvarado in the white trunks. Jeyson Vélez started boxing at the age of 11 because they were looking for a karate gym. His dad wanted to get him into some sort of martial arts to have his son protect himself. He grew up in Yuncos, Puerto Rico. They were looking for a karate gym. They walked into a boxing gym not knowing that it was a boxing gym, so they took a couple lessons. They're wondering, when do we start kicking? No. Boxing, they realized his hands were quick, and he never left that boxing gym. Now a professional.
Ooh, he is getting tagged a lot in this round, Vélez is, particularly by the right hand of Alvarado. And Alvarado has, as aggressive as he's been deceptively crafty. He is blocking and evading a lot of shots that Vélez throws his way. I hope the judges are taking notice.
I think he's applied steady pressure, and for most of the night as he lands another right hand and an uppercut, he's been the guy forcing the action. For the most part, Vélez has been boxing off his back foot, and quite frankly, don't know really how effective he is in terms of actually winning these early rounds.
Yeah, I've only scored the first round for Vélez, but it was very close. Rounds 2 and 3. I scored for Alvarado. So I have Alvarado ahead by 1 point, and he's, in my view, taken command of this fight here in round 4.
Doug, I agree, and I have a shutout, 30-27. I thought round 1 could have gone either way, but I voted for the aggression of Alvarado, who's having another good frame here in the 4th.
And continue voting at Golden Boy Boxing's Twitter account. Use hashtag RingTVLive. Voting from Durango, Mexico, Veronica, La Tierra de los Alacranes. She likes Alvarado right now. Continue to vote. We'll put up the poll later on in this fight. Alvarado in the white, swinging a wild miss. And he's trying to land that haymaker. Since the opening round, he's been
One thing about Vélez, he's always shown a very reliable chin. He's not somebody we've seen hurt or down. He's never been stopped in his career, but you wonder if that struggle to make weight that you spoke of, Beto, is affecting him and also affecting his punch resistance.
From Juncos, Puerto Rico is Jeyson Vélez, home of Juan Manuel Lopez. On the eastern side of the island.
Vélez might have to go back to his more recent form. He started out as a pure boxer, but in recent fights, in recent years, he's been more of a volume puncher, somebody who stands in the pocket. He might have to do that.
Cuando estés pegadito, báñalo, cuando estés pegadito. Cuando estés pegadito, báñalo. Dame el otro guante, dame el guante. ¿Cómo está? Hey, adelante. Este es abajo, está listo. Está abajo. Está abajo. No, tapale salida, está pegado ahí. Mételo canto. Está pegado ahí, mételo canto. Un open, izquierda, derecha, arriba.
René Alvarado taking over this fight in the 4th round, working Vélez over with body shots and right crosses to the head. He's steadily backing Vélez up to the ropes and outworking him.
Fifth round of action scheduled for 10. Say that there's been a flurry of punches would be an overstatement. This is a grinded out fight for two guys with a lot on the line.
Usually when you say it's a grinding out fight, that is a benefit to Alvarado because that is his fight. He beats guys on tenacity and conditioning. But he's also showing some nice craft here tonight.
No, and Beto, I will note that the majority of hard, clean punches that have been landed throughout the first 4 minutes and 4 rounds and change have been landed by the Nicaraguan.
Flash of heads.
Accidental. I don't see any abrasions or blood.
René's corner telling him, be first, be first. We're sitting right next to us. You'll hear them bleeding into your sound. Body work from Vélez. Remember Jeyson Vélez used to just come out and put on a quick show when we see him at the Velasco early on. Then he fought Ronnie Rios, and that was a fight where Ronnie was the B-side opponent from Santana, California.
Right.
And Ronnie, with that win, got himself back into the mix in the division because Ronnie had a big loss here against Robinson Castellanos where he was stopped by Castellanos, Robin Hood from Guanajuato, and Alvarado lands a good right, snaps back the head of Vélez. Castellanos is a fighter that René Alvarado beat in 2014, knocked him out in the 9th round.
That pushed him way up the WBC's featherweight rankings at the time. He was so close to getting a title shot, and then he lost. He lost to Rocky Juarez and suffered other losses, and he can taste it. He's just 27 years old. He wants to get back in that position, and that's why he's fighting so hard. But Vélez is fighting hard because you can't lose 3 fights in a row and consider yourself a contender.
And you see Vélez trying to step inside the pocket and stand and deliver, but right now I think that's exactly where Alvarado would love this fight to be for the rest of the night.
He's comfortable like that.
Right, he's actually out punching Vélez right at this distance. He's much more comfortable inside the pocket.
The Boo Birds are starting to come out here. They had a good opening bout. It's the 6th and final fight of the night. This is when you go deep into your notes. Beto Duran, René Alvarado from Managua, the capital city in Nicaragua. The Nahuatl language means adjacent to water. They call themselves Manahuenses or Capitalinos. Dennis Martinez Stadium is in Managua. That's where we're reaching right now. So these guys need to pick into that action. But there's a lot on the line for both of these fighters.
I think they're giving. I think the folks who were booing just maybe they need to drink some more Tecate because I think they're giving us some good exchanges in here. There's an effort from both fighters.
Oh, without
it's just
a doubt.
that Alvarado is just getting the better of Vélez.
Alvarado, Vélez, Joseph Diaz Jr. knows him well. JoJo, little flashbacks here. And we'll come back with JoJo. Yeah, that's right, JoJo. Keep that face, man. You got good hair, though. You got good hair, bro. Good time. We'll get that mic ready to go. We're getting ready for the 6th round. It's scheduled for 10. Meta World Pieces here. Laker, or actually, no, free agent NBA player. Big boxing fan. He saw a fighter that he's helping in his career. John Leon had a 1st round KO. Also, Mauricio Herrera, El Maestro, is in attendance, as is Diego de la Hoya. And
Alvarado getting the better of Vélez on the inside. A moment ago, he landed an uppercut, and there it is. He's leaning to his left and trying to come up with the left. Also working the right side. Both fighters giving a tremendous effort so far.
a good effort. Not much action, but there's a good effort from both of them, which is what you expect from two quality professionals. And Jeyson Vélez at the age of 28, René Alvarado 27. Sixth round. Jeyson La Maravilla Vélez. The one thing he learned after that fight with Ronnie Rio is that he needed to train harder. Gradovich taught him he needed to train better and smarter. Joseph Diaz Jr. These guys look familiar to you? Deja vu a little bit? The grinded out style?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, René Alvarado's taking it to Jeyson Vélez right now. I feel like he's being more aggressive, and I feel like Jeyson Vélez shouldn't be fighting this fight. He should be fighting on the outside and keeping his distance and landing the effective shots on the outside. But now he's fighting René Alvarado's fight. Then René Alvarado, he throws a lot of punches on the inside very short, and he's being effective with it, and he's winning the fight so far.
Right by Vélez. Now, you fought Alvarado. This was the type of fight that you had with him, right?
Yes, this was the type of fight that me and René Alvarado fought, and I knew that if I tried to box him, because I knew that he was longer than me, then I would be getting caught on the outside, so I needed to bang on the inside with him and land effective shots.
And what about Vélez?
With Vélez, he can't be fighting like this because he's taller and longer than me. He has a longer reach, and he's very taller than me, so he should be boxing this guy. He shouldn't be banging on this side, because when he does try to land effective shots on the inside, René Alvarado's just countering him and landing the shorter shots.
This isn't the Jeyson Vélez you knew when you were coming up, huh?
No, actually,
he looks
wasn't.
different, right?
Yes, he does, man. His conditioning seems like it's not there, and he seems like he's not as powerful as he once was.
Yeah, because remember at Belasco, I think you were on the undercard of one of his shows at Belasco, where he came in and he was like a flurry.
Yeah, and he was all
buzzing.
And he was very energetic. He was all dancing around and being very strong and throwing a lot of combinations. And today, man, you don't see him fighting on the outside or landing effective combinations. He's getting tired, and you can tell.
Yeah, you can really see it in his body language. He is being systematically and gradually broken down by Alvarado.
Well, on the inside, his head looks like a tetherball. I mean, he's getting hit with some very quick combinations. We saw about a minute ago, his legs are really starting to fade.
And that used to be one of the things that Vélez was known for, his conditioning, able to look good. Body was cut and ripped. This guy's hunched over right now. Alvarado coming on fresh. Shot landed. But Vélez will throw one, absorb that. Not many combinations coming from the Boricua, where Alvarado trying to pick up the pace a little bit more here in the final seconds.
Déjeme abajo, que el hombre ya no está, ya está sin aire. Usted tiene aire. Usted no guarda aire para el siguiente round. Usted tiene aire. Usted tiene aire para pelear 12 rounds. Comienza a bombardearlo. De abajo para arriba, cruzado, en directo. Cuando empecé a tocar y de abajo.
We have you trained for 12 rounds. You're conditioned for 12 rounds. I think that's what he said.
No lo deje, no lo deje. Tóquelo, tóquelo, tóquelo.
Don't let him. Hit him. Hit him. A different accent than Nicaragua's.
Vélez got in a sweeping left hook, tried to follow it with a right to the head. Kind of just grazed him with it, but it's Alvarado who's backing Vélez up. 1-2 attack. There's attacking the body with both hands, coming up to the head with a left hook.
La Puerta Negra was jamming between rounds. Los Tigres del Norte and the crowd going here. René Alvarado, El Gemelo in the white trunks. How do you guys have it after 6, Doug?
I have a one-sided fight. I have it 59-55 for René Alvarado. I haven't scored a round for Vélez since the opening round.
And Doug, I'm like you for the most part, except the first round you gave it to Vélez, I gave it to Alvarado based on aggression, and I think that aggression has only grown. And I think now, Jeyson Vélez boxing, Beto, I think has become a full-blown retreat.
Survival?
In many ways, many respects, absolutely. If you look at Vélez, you look at his body language, you look at the legs, they don't seem to be there, and there's not a lot on those punches. Vélez has never been a hard, authoritative puncher, but right now there's almost nothing on it. It looks like a wet shoelace, and Alvarado gets the sense he could probably walk through anything that comes his way.
Throwing that heavy left. And when Jeyson Vélez, Joseph Diaz Jr. was announced, it was like, oh, step up for JoJo here. How much damage does JoJo do that Vélez looks like this his next fight?
JoJo does do a lot of damage.
Right.
With the way he goes to the body. Doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but he has pretty heavy hands for a young man.
The one thing that I would describe Joseph Diaz is sharp and accurate, and he chips away at you like an axe. He's not like a buzzsaw that's going to go right through you and stop you, but you're usually going to get punished for 10 rounds. That's exactly what happened. If you look at Vélez, he's had a lot of tough fights since late 2014 against Gradovic.
Yep,
and then we take a look at Ronnie Rios, who ground up his body in the second half, and you see the residual effect tonight against Alvarado.
7th round is scheduled for 10. Less than a minute to go in the 7th round. And we saw, remember we saw him against Daniel Rodriguez, Tijuana fighter at Velasco. Did we see Vélez? And
yes.
The kid named Huracan, a kid who actually helps build the rings.
Yeah, we see him there all the time, just not in boxing trunks.
Now, I'm coming back to this, and Vélez was tagged some in that fight.
He was. It was.
He won the fight,
yeah.
but he was tagged.
Yeah,
and the next fight was Ronnie Rios.
And he loved it. And Vélez welcomed it. He had a lot of confidence going into that fight. It was just a stay busy fight. That was the fight that Joseph Diaz Jr. alluded to, where he was dancing between rounds rather than sit down. He had so much energy, and he outclassed and outworked and outboxed Daniel, he does not look like the same fighter tonight.
I was at 128, 130 tonight, the heaviest he's ever been, and he does not look like the Jeyson Vélez that we're used to.
Bótalo por la boca. Respirando por la nariz, bótalo por la boca. Vamos aquí.
Special happy birthday shout out to our friend Freddie. Happy birthday, Freddie, in the house.
No te vayas.
Appreciate the support, dog. Happy birthday to you.
Cuando va tirando hopper por dentro.
Vélez trying to get some work done on the inside. Does land a left and then a right cross to the ear. There's more grappling right here than clean punches landed by either fighter. There Alvarado actually starts to unload and land some clean shots.
Our security blanket of Philadelphia, Linus, skipped a soccer game, and he has a great tweet. Middle round sag from Vélez, just like he did against Ronnie Rios.
Yeah. That was actually a very competitive fight for the first 6, 7 rounds, and I thought in rounds 8, 9, and 10, Ronnie Rios made a decision to go against his own identity and step inside and get inside the chest of Vélez, and really, I thought, ground him up to the body, and I thought pulled away late.
That's a great point. A lot of fights coming your way from Ring TV Live. July 30th, we're back here in Indio for Antonio Orozco, the relentless one. Managed by Frank Espinoza, undefeated. And then Joseph Diaz Jr. is a co-feature on that bout. Nick Arce, Westside Boxer, will be on there also. Then August 5th, get your tickets now. Velasco Theater, LA Fight Club, the first Friday of the month. Always sells out. Great time. They put the ring on the dance floor. A show, and also August 19th back at Velasco. So 2 shows in August for you in Southern California. A lot of the hot prospects coming your way, you're going to be seeing in action. And then in September, Canelo will be fighting somewhere in the Midwest, according to Steve Kim.
Or Southwest.
Or Southwest. Or in the SEC country.
Howdy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. SMU is around there. According to Steve Kim, nothing been reported, but Steve Kim's news and notes, never wrong. If you listen to the 3 Knockdown podcast with Mario Lopez, the Montoya Factor podcast is always good. And you've been doing a video series where Montoya believes in Speedium shirts. And then Doug's mailbag every Friday and Monday. The email for that, Dougie, is?
Dougie@boxingmailbag.com.
What's been the theme lately?
Golovkin Brook. And surprisingly, there's just as much of a positive reaction as there is a negative reaction.
Really?
There's not a few, there aren't a lot of neutral fans on that particular matchup. They either are excited and hyped about it or they're disgusted by it.
It's like Donald Trump. You either hate it or you love it. There's no in between.
That's boxing. There's a
Political
lot of
views of
excitement.
Steve Kim.
There's a lot of excitement for Gonzalez Cuadras as well. Of course, next week we have Terrence Crawford versus Victor Postol, and that'll be for the Ring Magazine Junior Welterweight Championship.
Well, that's for the Ring one.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's the number 1 and number 2 contender at 140 pounds.
Él se queda, cuando él se queda usted báñelo, no me lo deje pensar, no lo deje respirar, no lo deje respirar. Hijo, no me estás haciendo caso, tienes que cerrar todo, lo caminar, lo tocar abajo, los óperas cortitos. Quiero ópera,
I think he doesn't know the jam it too loud. I couldn't hear that, or else I would have translated.
Right uppercut from Alvarado. Tries to go to the body with his left. Brings it up, kind of cuffing behind the head. Connects with the right uppercut. These guys are throwing on the inside, but they're also blocking a lot. There was a decent right to the body from Vélez. He is still trying. Just appears listless.
No, he does. That's the thing. The guy that had more snap, more torque on his punches throughout the night has been Alvarado.
Although I see some fatigue from Alvarado as well.
Alvarado, his last fight, he went the distance with Tino Avila in 10 rounds. And Tino Avila, the Golden Boy fighter from Northern California, coming off a victory last weekend in a stay busy fight for him.
As I recall that Alvarado fight, Alvarado had a slow start because of a shoe malfunction. The soles of his shoes were worn out. He had these Asics, these wrestling shoes on, and he was slipping and sliding. And they finally taped up his shoes. He was able to get a little more traction, make a little bit more of a fight of it.
Okay, he's wearing Everlast tonight, so Ernie found him.
Those are working for him.
Both fighters with Everlast boots.
Both shoes look very comfortable.
9th round, it's scheduled for 10. You hear the clapping, that's not a fan, that's Alvarado's corner. Telling him to step it up a little bit.
They don't want him to coast.
No, and both of these fighters are Golden Boy fighters towards the end of their promotional contracts.
I think in wrestling they'd call that loser leaves town, Beto. You get the sense in a certain way this is a Golden Boy eliminator. I think the winner is still useful. The loser, well, as they say, the Turk says, coach wants to see you, bring your playbook.
The Turk. Can't wait for Hard Knocks to come back.
Hard Knocks is coming back in a couple weeks, Beto. Always a summer ritual.
Coming back is HBO Latino and Ring TV Live to India, July 30th. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Steve Kim, Joseph Diaz Jr. He's got a microphone in his hand. Be jumping in with him next round. Get his impressions of that. He'll be fighting here on the 30th.
I get the sense that this has just been a frustrating night for Vélez, who seems kind of lost in terms of what boxing style he wanted to try to employ tonight. Didn't stick with the stick and move.
You know,
can't
Doug,
really hang in there with the inside grind.
You know, sometimes when a fighter doesn't make weight, it really doesn't mean much. It means they misgauge the weight at the end. Sometimes it's very indicative of a bad training camp, and we don't know what may have led up to the previous 6 to 8 weeks to tonight. He just looks very, very listless. Flat,
The flat
physically.
performance, yeah.
Almost like a puppet with its strings cut off, to be honest.
And this is
with
at a heavier weight that he's
Yeah.
accustomed to. So imagine if he was trying to cut down to 28. 10 seconds to go in the 9th round. It's scheduled for 10. Indio, California, on a night where the gemelo Nicaragüense, René Alvarado, is cruising through 9.
More inside work from these junior lightweights. It's Alvarado landing the clean shots, mainly his right hand, even as he backs up. Misses right there as they stumble over their legs. I think Alvarado stepped on the foot of Vélez.
Joseph Diaz Jr., how do you have it? Okay, I agree. There's nothing to be said about that, Joseph. As René Alvarado is looking to celebrate after this round. He's cruising.
Yeah, I think Alvarado has been cruising the last couple of rounds.
Jojo, you've been watching this one, 10th and final round. Tell me you got Alvarado winning this.
Oh, absolutely. I got Alvarado winning decisively. I mean, he's just being aggressive, landing the effective shots on the inside, and it just seems like Vélez is just out of it, man. He looks tired, he looks drained, and he don't have anything on the shots.
Left shot by Alvarado. If you were in the ring right now and you're Alvarado, what would you be doing right now?
If I was in the ring and if I was Alvarado, I would just be doing exactly what I'm doing the whole entire fight. I mean, he's being aggressive.
But did you go for the kill?
I don't know about going for the kill because you know what? You don't want to.
Come on, man. The broadcasters need a kill. Sounds good. we want to get you the highlights.
Yeah, I know, but he don't want to get caught with anything because Jeyson Vélez, he's still a very powerful guy, man. He still hits hard, so if he gets caught, then he might get hurt.
That's something you're really aware of, then, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Your fight's July 30th. After that, you come away with everything. What's the plan for you the rest of this year?
You know what? If everything goes well, July 30th, and I don't get no cuts or no injuries, I'm looking to fight again in September. Hopefully get a guy that's ranked number 2 in the WBC or something, and then fight for a world title by the end of this year.
Joseph Diaz Jr., what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is @Joseph Diaz Jr., and my Instagram is Joseph Diaz Jr. as well.
You got a Snapchat or is that private?
Snapchat is Joseph Diaz with 2 Z's. Follow me, guys.
2 Z's? Oh,
2
my
Z's.
goodness. You're a multi-platform. You're not playing Pokemon either because you're working this fight with us. A minute to go in the 10th and final round. Great job tonight, Jojo. We'll see you on the 30th. René Alvarado is fighting essentially for his American career. He's 0-5 in the United States, 7 losses total. He's gone up against some of the bigger names in the division. He's been a quasi gatekeeper without knowing it.
Right.
Rocky Juarez, Jojo, Andrew Cancio, Tino Avila. And tonight against a fighter with only 2 losses, Jeyson Vélez, a big fighter out of Puerto Rico. He has been looking good since the opening bout with 25 seconds to go in that fight.
Well, he certainly hasn't gone into the 4 corners. I have him up big, as does Doug, and I think he's put the finishing touches on what's been a very solid night's work against Jeyson Vélez.
Yeah, he's outworked Vélez in this 10th and final round, and he's also snapped that head back a lot. He's landed some serious leather.
Alvarado has me wanting a Toña beer, maybe some Flor de Caña, the way he's been putting on the show tonight. Alvarado, Vélez, they go the distance, and Alvarado, the Nicaraguan, lets out a big scream. And he looked good tonight. We'll be back with the decision from Indio. You're watching Ring TV Live.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
Liam's a talent, he'll fight anyone. And we're going to make a big fight for him in the autumn. I think it's the biggest name in that division, and I will make sure it happens. And I believe by the end of the year, he will be the best.
Relentless Antonio.
Body shots landed by Orozco, a 28-year-old. And Acosta just taking a deep breath. Drop with the left by Orozco, and it is over. A first-round stoppage for Antonio. Relentless Orozco.
A representative came to my school talking about the different programs and information security was one.
Dividida, your winner by split decision, el gemelo, René Alvarado.
They're like admitting the defeat, but
Yeah.
split decision?
He knows he lost. There's no way you could have scored that fight for Vélez. I had it 99-91 for Alvarado.
We had
I
two
thought he won
96
rounds
94s.
2 through 10.
It was 96-94s and 97-93.
I guess we all see different things. I did 190. I thought it was an easy call for that man right there from Nicaragua.
This is why we're in unison and we're a great Three Musketeer quad, because I agree with both of you guys, 100 or 99. Jojo Diaz, who's sitting to the right of us, just looked up with his eyes really big and saying, wow. But regardless, René Alvarado improves to 24-7. So for the first time in the United States, he gets the victory. He's now 1-5 in the U.S.
Gets over the hump. Congratulations to him.
And Alvarado looks solid in this fight. Jeyson Vélez?
Flat, listless. There needs to be some kind of change, either in his nutrition or, you know, maybe in the way he prepared for this fight. But he just didn't look like himself tonight. And, you know, maybe it was just a bad night at the office. That happens.
Or to be blunt, I'll be honest, he just might be an old 28. It happens.
That also happens in boxing.
Fighters age differently.
And the 10 rounds with Diaz Jr. and the 10 rounds against Ronnie Rios, those weren't light rounds. Those were hard rounds, took a lot of damage to his body.
Went up and he had trouble making the 130. René Alvarado, Managua, Nicaragua, improves to 24-7. 6 fights on your card. Rashidi Ellis with the win. Cesar Diaz, 18-year-old pro debut from Palmdale with a 3rd round KO. Azat Hovhannisyan put on a good show. KO in the 5th. He's now 9-2. Marco Magdaleno from Las Vegas, now living in Coachella, 4-0. And John Leon, Bogota, Colombia, in his pro debut, the 22-year-old, a 1st round KO. A great night of action. We'll be back here on Ring TV Live July 30th. Now, for everybody involved with the staff, the guys flying the drones, everybody with the recaps, for my partner, Doug Fisher, Steve Kim, David and Scott Tetreault, everybody inside the Golden Boy office, and for our president and founder, Oscar De La Hoya, I'm Beto Duran saying thank you for watching. Good night. This has been another presentation of Ring TV Live.